me share an interesting story with you. Years ago, back in my 20s, I used to deal with this mechanic who was nearby, and I'm a car tuner guy. I like messing with cars and sort of souping them up and stuff like that. So I was always at his shop every couple months just doing something, tweaking something. And, you know, he took a liking to me. You know, we kind of became friendly, and he often would just drive me back after I would drop off the car. He says, you know, let me give you a ride back. And during the ride, you know, he would tell me about his life, and, you know, he was a very successful mechanic, if I can put it that way, but he was a mechanic. He owned the shop, you know, Italian guy, real salt of the earth, solid dude. Wife wanted a family, 4 kids, gave it all to her. She wanted to go to law school and become a lawyer. She had this ambition to become a lawyer. And I remember him telling me this story about, you know, buying a condo downtown Toronto, and he would, you know, she would stay there rather than stay out where they lived out in the outskirts of the city because it saved travel and all these, you know, like all this sorts of stuff. And he would take care of the kids and do all of their extracurriculars and the driving around while she was off going to law school. And he figured, you know, this sort of thing would pay off in the long run, and she'd become a lawyer, and she would then contribute to the family, and, you know, things would look great from there on in. Now, here's where it got interesting. I had moved at some point, and I hadn't seen him for a few years. I had to go back to the shop for something because his shop specialized in something with a particular car brand that I had at the time. And I went in there and I said, hey, where's Paul? And his shop foreman, who I knew as well, said, well, oh, you didn't hear? He died. And I was like, what? You know, he was in good, I mean, he was in his early 50s. He wasn't like obese or anything like that. He was in pretty good shape, always seemed chipper, maybe a little bit stressed, you know, from work, from all the burden of everything that he was doing. But he always, you know, seemed to be pretty good shape. And I said, well, what happened? He goes, you know, he used to have this little Frenchie dog with him, and he'd often be there early in the morning. And they said, you know, one day they came in and they found him dead on the floor with the dog sitting beside him. And it was the absolute saddest thing. And I said, well, what happened? He goes, he had a heart attack. And I said to him, I go, what do you mean he had a heart attack? The guy was, you know, they told me the story about, you know, his wife and going to law school. And apparently she met somebody at law school and she had an affair and cheated on him and then divorced him. And after she got her law degree and all that sort of thing. And they said he basically died of a broken heart. Like they said his health went absolutely south after that. And one morning they came in and they found him dead.
It's because these men didn't know who they are. They did not stick to their purpose. And so they end up serving the woman's purpose instead of serving their purpose.